Matt, did you know Obama got inaugurated today?
You know I did, and I'm actually reading this book right now.
Wow, it's like we're both slightly left, and we need to get that across for full transparency purposes. Got it? Good.
Now on to this clusterfuck of a movie.
God, this movie.
Okay. 1 second in, we knew we were going to watch a bad movie. One.
It was just, they parodied the Fox Searchlight and then the Lucasfilms with their own stuff. What was it called, Matt? What was their production company?
Injustice for All.
Injustice.
Which is a Norman Jewison film starring Al Pacino, which has absolutely nothing to do with any of the topics in this film. Just getting that out there.
All right. First off, I guess we should probably say the title. How do we want to pronounce this? Letter for letter, or just the whole word at once?
Just the whole word at once, I guess. O.B.A.M. Nude. To be honest, actually, until like the very end of the film, we were seeing whether or not they were actually able to make the title make any sense. It didn't.
Okay, O.B.A.M. is O.B.A.M, which stands for Occidental Birth a Monster. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Nude.
Yeah, nude. For some reason, that's a.
I don't know what the nude stands for.
Mm.
Because it means that it's revealing all the truth and all that kind of stuff. Alright, whatever. Alright, one obvious thing about this, it's obviously a propaganda film.
Right side.
Very right side.
Like, all the way right side.
T and birther right side.
Okay.
But we're not going to get into that.
We will avoid politics as best we can.
We're going to try to talk about this just from a movie standpoint, because if we're going to talk about politics, then, yeah, kiss that all of our subscribers goodbye.
So many of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so it starts off, you have O.B.A.M, who is sitting in his college, 1981, I think it was.
I think so. Snorting coke, drinking,
and then
smoking weed by himself.
He has an angel and a devil, not on their shoulders, like they just appear in the room with him.
And he just kind of accepts it, really. He, like, you know, he even though he says, like, where the fuck do you guys come from? He never seems to get nervous enough to even get out of his seat, the fat bastard.
The guy just appears next to him.
He's like, oh, who the fuck are you? And then he just starts talking to him. He's like, oh, this is some good shit. I'm like, all right, one, cocaine doesn't make you hallucinate.
Okay, so then eventually he pisses off the angel who's there enough and just goes with the devil.
Yeah, you don't even see her go away. She just kind of just stops being there after a while.
So he goes with the devil.
And I'm sorry to the woman who plays the woman in white as she's credited. I'm sorry. Whether it was the way that they did makeup on her or something, she looks ugly as fuck. I am sorry. I'm not trying to be a smug, shallow son of a bitch, but that's just what I say. Do I even need to put up a screenshot? I'm not going to put up a screenshot.
You really want to see it? See it.
If you want to.
If you want to. Now,
this movie should just have the word subtle written in giant block letters on the front.
O.B.A.M, the
subtle.
He is now apparently the son of the devil, a.k.a. the Antichrist, who is going to lead America and then
the rest of the world.
Take the souls of the people. Did we mention this was made in 2009?
2009, yeah. And the funny thing is also the devil wants the millions of souls that he will take with him to hell. And if he's supposed to encompass the entire world, I think that goes well beyond a few million souls, if your math is correct.
So the devil is well, you know what we should talk about real quick.
I really have to talk about this guy's portrayal of the devil.
Oh, the devil? Okay.
And to be honest, actually, this is more of a personal point, and obviously, this is mostly me doing this. Alright, from a literary standpoint, I'm not going to be talking faith in this episode. From a literary standpoint, Lucifer is probably one of the most interesting, dynamic, and diverse characters ever created. Whether, as stated from a literary character standpoint, this movie makes this guy seem stupider than the character of Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
Apparently, the guy O.B.A.M, who's apparently the Antichrist and whatnot, he's the one who is coming up with all of the ideas and whatnot that apparently Lucifer who already knows the future, who already knows what's going to happen and how it's going to happen, yet this human outthinks probably one of the greatest thinkers in supernatural lore. If you remember anything, Lucifer is an unbelievably smart, unbelievably charismatic figure. Hence the reason why he was the way he was in John Milton's Paradise Lost. He convinced a third of heaven's angels to go along with him. The devil in this movie couldn't convince me to go get him something from Royal Farms down the street. That's enough on that.
Okay. Well, now you at least talked about. Let's go the section by section route. Acting.
Oh my god.
Acting in this film.
Oh my god.
Well,
alright, when there is acting.
There are two sections to this film. There is O.B.A.M and the devil talking and just working out their evil plans.
And each of these sections are bookended.
Of course. And then there's a sort of people on the street section where they have impromptu interviews with people in the future, because remember this is 1981, people in the future about political issues such as abortion,
affirmative action. We will get to that in a sec. Not the topic, the sequence.
They have a whole bunch of those, and the reason that comes up in the acting section is because they are obviously actors. Maybe not all of them.
Not all of them, but definitely
there's
definitely a few that are so obvious. Especially when it comes down to some people who are obviously reading off of cue cards. Oh yeah, and when they come back from each of those segments, they usually have the guy O.B.A.M reading sections of Obama's speeches from the 2008 campaign.
Okay, so acting not good. We'll just put that whole label up. Not good.
It's not good. Oh yeah, the two main actors.
Yeah.
They're also the writers
and producers,
and they're politicians.
Oh.
Or at least the guy who playing O.B.A.M is.
Let's real quick scoot over. Let's get some room here. All right. So okay, this is obviously an Obama parody, if you want to call it that. They never flat out say his name because that would be very bad.
No, they don't even actually, his character, O.B.A.M in the movie, he's never even referred to by name.
Yeah, so let's just show how closely they managed to parody Obama here. Up top, we have an image of President Obama. I'm sure you recognize him. And the Justice for All Productions version of Obama. Boom! As you can tell, they share many similarities, such as being male, and
being politicians,
speaking English. I don't know about eye color. Gone. That's, oh my god, like, I had to sit there. Matt knew, based off what they were saying, that it was obviously Obama. I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt, since he looked so unlike Obama. But within 10 minutes...
He looked more like George Bush.
Within 10 minutes, I had to say, yeah, this is Obama.
I mean, obviously, like, I followed the 2008 campaign very extensively, so I knew about the information that they were referencing and whatnot. But at the same time...
Alright, go into his politics stuff.
I can't.
Alright.
I really can't. Alright, let's just... The one moment that I realized that we were watching not only something that was bad, but something that was actually offensive. And you know me, I don't get easily offended. As a matter of fact, the more offensive a joke is, usually I actually consider it the better. It's hilarious to me. I have a very dark sense of humor. This was not played for laughs. This was played to be 100% serious. There are two people in the on-street interviews that was obviously actors. There was a Puerto Rican man and a black woman. when it got to affirmative action, and people were laying their own ideas on what it was and the benefits or the detractors it had for the country, first the Puerto Rican guy said this. Well, I'm Puerto Rican, so I'll take anything I can get. That got me hard. I'm like, alright, that one, obviously a white guy wrote this. But what really sunk the nail into the coffin was when the black lady was being interviewed.
For affirmative action.
And she said, well, without affirmative action, I'd probably still be asleep right now.
In other segments, she said she has 8 children. 8 children. And she would also apparently still be asleep right now.
And when we got to the topic of global warming, which obviously we're not going to discuss, now, if this was actually true, it's a fucking offense on behalf of the filmmakers. And if it isn't true, if it was staged, it's fucking offensive anyway to people. One, they had this weird little outtake portion. She's like, oh, are you actually filming now? And then she pulls out a little can of hairspray and starts spraying her hair. And then she obviously thespianizing her words and everything on her views on global warming and how cars are a bad thing and all that kind of stuff.
Not the electric lines, which are natural. That's an actual quote, by the way. You can see that.
So, by summation, the filmmakers of this movie have determined that black people, from their perspective, I don't know if it's necessarily from everybody, from all demographics and whatnot, but the people they targeted are lazy people who fucking breathe too much and also have no conception of of nature versus man-made.
I can just feel the subscribers leaving.
I'm sorry, the way that they presented their argument was so bad.
I'm agreeing with you. They are terrible, but I can just feel them leaving.
Writing.
No.
There should, again, subtlety is not a very strong thing for these filmmakers. There's not a subtle thing in this movie. Nothing is subtle. Nothing.
Here's a little example scene.
Right.
No. A little example scene on what it would basically be throughout their thing. It's like, you know that Medicare stuff? Well, if we have all the doctors working for the government, then we can get all the money from them, which will go straight to me when I'm president.
2 things. 1, you're fucking stupid. And 2, you have absolutely no idea what economics and the executive branch have to do with each other.
But politics. So, moving on with the movie.
The writing, seriously, is as subtle as a brick to the face during a nuclear strike in the middle of the apocalypse. Alright, when it comes down to people trying to push a political agenda, regardless of what it is, actually, no, let me rephrase. Anyone trying to push an agenda of any type, subtleties really help push your point forward. Let's take someone who actually isn't too far removed from this and whatnot. The playwright Jean-Paul Sartre was a really, really big advocate for communism and whatnot. That did not necessarily mean that all of his works were communist infused or socialist infused. Forgive me if I'm getting the ideologies mixed up. It's a bit late. But at the same time, he was a master at creating subtle messages in his work to direct towards his own beliefs. This is the polar opposite of that. This is the culmination of all the most non-subtle writing in history. A fucking 15-year-old would think that this was unbelievably poorly written. My God, my grammar's even going down the drain.
Okay, so from writing, let's move on to the look of the movie. This includes those little segments using a certain style.
Let's call them stock footage montages.
Yeah. They use that a lot in the beginning. But then towards the middle, they replace it with yet another type of thing that's not exactly the greatest. Matt, what would you call those? The correct answer is flash animation. Not good flash animation. Just clip art and movement.
They're basically GIFs.
They are GIFs.
They're fucking GIFs.
GIF, depending on how you say it. I've heard GIF before. Look, I'm not saying your movie looks bad. I'm just saying you could not put GIF images in your movie.
Do you think we were taking you at all seriously before you started doing that? Do you think we'll take you seriously now? I'm sorry. You're not Michael fucking Moore. When it comes down to inserting animation into a movie to enhance a political dialogue, you're not as good as Bowling for Columbine. Now, I'm not going to get into the specifics of exactly the pros and cons of the talk of Bowling for Columbine, but when it comes down to an actual movie, it's well made.
I personally think they just threw in the animations to dumb it down a little bit more.
Or else they just couldn't find anything to put those things together, so they were so fucking lazy they couldn't come up with anything to put in between.
I don't think that, because they literally interrupted the exact same shots. Like, they went from a camera angle, cut it in the middle of a line, and then came back to the other half of that line. They just did it because maybe they used too big of words for their intended audience. But
it's the equivalent of shaking keys in front of a baby's face.
It's terrible. Oh my God. Now the actual
alright, when it comes down to its overall presentation, it panders to the audience's intelligence. It makes it believe it. If this movie is supposed to be a comedic parody, which, if it is, it's one of the most mean-spirited parodies I've ever seen, there's a difference between a parody and a satire. A parody is what you make fun of that you like. Mel Brooks is probably one of the greatest parody filmmakers of all time. Satire is when you make fun of things that you don't like. This is neither.
Yeah. I mean,
this is neither.
It's closer to satire, but you have to be clever in a little bit to do a satire.
There's nothing satirical about it. And, like, the whole movie is this one stupid conversation. And it's not like 12 Angry Men or The Sunset Limited, which it has one long conversation be the entire movie, but it's really fucking interesting. This movie wants me to shove a knife in my throat. Oh my God.
Alright, so on that note, I think we should final thoughts here. I'm going to go first this time because I feel like you got a few more things to say than me. This movie...
We didn't talk about direction.
What direction? There was no direction.
There we go.
This movie was, okay, I'm going to be honest here. When we were picking out films to watch today, I picked this one. I saw the trailer.
I didn't want to watch it at all.
I saw the trailer, and I just saw how infuriated Matt was getting at it, and I thought, this is perfect. This is prime stuff. Oh my God. It's not as bad as, like, Sandy Hook, Lingerie Party Massacre.
No.
Not even close.
It's not even as bad as Taint Light. At least they had lighting.
Yes, this had mild... Look, this was... How do I put it? This is late-night public access television.
Basically the quality equivalent of one of my films. When it comes down to the actual technicals.
Technicals, yes.
And whatnot.
And content-wise, you're still a step up. You're a few steps.
I'm at least different.
Yeah. Okay. But overall,
but I can't compare myself to something like this.
This movie was. It's so hard to remove the political aspect from it. But
it really is, and we're trying to really hard not to talk about it. Because regardless of how slanted the things might be or how leaning we might happen to be, it's the presentation and the delivery of facts. Yeah. This movie has none. It does actually have a few points in which that it's actually accurate, especially when it talks about the Federal Reserve.
But the facts about it is, when they are speaking factually, they are choosing between someone saying it that is the Antichrist or someone saying it that is the devil. No matter what they say that's factual, it's coming from somebody who you're supposed to hate. So it's... They can say a fact and make you hate it.
And the funny thing is, they're... The one thing, and this is when it comes down to facts, I love this too, that basically we're saying that Obama was responsible for the outbreak of the Afghanistan war.
Stop. Just say your final thoughts. I don't want to talk anymore. Final thoughts, go.
My final thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
My final thoughts on this piece of shit? Oh, God. Political point aside, this movie is a perfect example of how someone knows nothing whatsoever of character interaction, stasis, and resolution. Basically, no form of structure whatsoever in how to create a scene. And if you wanted... And to be honest, actually, the deal with the devil is one of the oldest stories we have. It comes from Faust. And you know what? It's a classic story. It works if it's done right. But this is so stupid.
I would just say that
It's not even the political thing. It's just the people who made this are fucking stupid.
Look, this movie, it's... Alright, look.
I can't even imagine conservatives liking this movie.
It's the facts that it presents. It's just so dumbing. I just need... I don't know. I just... How is there something that is more sane than this? I need something that is less crazy than this. What could be less crazy than this movie?
I got Naked Lunch.
That's probably less crazy. I would go with, like, The Cat in the Hat. That's probably more or less crazy. So, you know what? We're going to actually educate ourselves here, so bye-bye. And then he ran out, and then fast as a fox, the cat in the hat came back with a box.
Darling, I want to rim you.
All the bad boys want some more extreme.